아 저기요, 저 PD 아니에요.
그럼 뭐예요?
저 한국외대 23학번 새내기예요. 아니 오랜만에 지금 굉장히 오랜만에 대학에 와서 이 캠퍼스의 정취, 이 캠퍼스의 낭만을 좀 느껴보려고 하는데 왜 저를 방해하시는 거예요?
공부하십시오.
지금 강의 시간 늦었어요. 가야 돼요.
놀러 왔잖아요.
아, 저 먼저 갑니다. 강의 들으러. 갈게요. 강의 듣고 싶으시면 따라오세요. 대사님을 발견해서 지금 가서 인사를 짧게 드릴 거예요. Hello, Ambassador.
Thank you very much for coming. This is part of our annual plan, cultural plan, to let Korea know about this great civilization, the Mayan Civilization.
Yes, today's lecture is on the Maya Civilization, and the guest lecturer for today is the Guatemalan ambassador to South Korea.
It is also important to mention that the Mayan civilization is one of the first civilizations of the world.
I've heard of the Maya civilization a lot, but I didn't know it had such a long history.
What has a group of people to have in order to be a civilization? Well, they had, beginning, it's a highly complex society. It has to be, of course, culture. It has to have large and dense populations. It has to have arts, craft, urban planning, intensive agriculture, and its own writing. All of these, the Maya had it.
There were many conditions to qualify as a civilization, and I thought the Maya civilization, which met all of these conditions, was an amazing civilization. After the lecture, there was an opportunity for various opinions to be exchanged.
Do you know how many Mayan languages existed?
But nowadays, only in Guatemala, there are 22 languages.
I learned a lot about the Maya civilization that I didn't know before, and I had even more questions. I will have to ask those questions to the ambassador during our interview.
Nuri.
토통님 오셨어요? 근데 왜 이렇게 호들갑이세요?
I got it.
뭐를요?
Our catchphrase.
오, 뭐라고 정했어요?
Let me reveal our catchphrase now. It's Diplomat Talks connecting Korea to the world. What do you think? We'll be the bridge connecting Korea to the world.
오, 좋은데요, 토통님?
Do you like it? We just have to change your name to Daddy or Bridge now.
아, 또 그 이야기예요? 그거는 좀 기다려보세요.
Okay. Who's the ambassador that we'll be interviewing this week?
바로 과테말라 대사님입니다.
Welcome to our program.
이번에 우리는 마야 문명에 대한 이야기를 해볼 거라고요.
Yes. I did my research on this topic.
많이 공부하셨죠?
Didn't you attend the lecture the ambassador gave recently? Wasn't that about the Mayan civilization? How was it?
재밌었어요. 흥미로운 내용들이 되게 많더라고요.
Oh, I see.
톡톡님도 마야 문명에 대해 공부하셨다고 하셨잖아요. 그럼 제가 테스트를 좀 해볼게요.
A pop quiz?
자, 1번. 마야 문명이 어느 시기에 존재했던 문명이죠?
Although there are mixed opinions about the exact origins of the Mayan civilization, it is generally believed to have begun at around 2000 BC. The civilization flourished until the 9th century AD but suddenly declined. No one is certain, but epidemics, climate change, or lack of arable land are estimated to have caused the decline. There are even some people who claim the decline is due to aliens. Starting in the 16th century, the Spanish colonization of the Americas began, and with the fall of the last bastion, Petén, in 1697, the Mayan civilization came to an end.
오, 역시 공부를 많이 하셨군요. 자, 그럼 2번이에요. 마야 문명이 왜 이렇게 유명한 거죠?
The Mayan civilization has left their mark in many areas including agriculture, writing, calendars, astronomy, mathematics, etc. And they were especially advanced in mathematics and astronomy. Mayans used their own calendars like Tzolk'in, which divided the year into 260 days, and Hab, a solar calendar dividing the year into 365 days. Their calendars were sometimes more accurate than those of their Asian and European contemporaries. They were also skilled in architecture, leaving behind a legacy of pyramid structures.
오, 그럼 세 번째 문제 나갑니다. 과테말라랑 마야 문명은 어떤 관계죠?
Remnants of the Mayan civilization are found across many Central American countries, but the entire country of Guatemala is home to traces of the civilization. Guatemala's Petén department, in particular, is known as the center of Mayan civilization. That's because the capital of the civilization during the classical period was located in the Petén region, among its different chronological periods.
오, 역시 톡톡님 공부를 많이 하셨네요.
Yes, I did my best.
안녕하세요. 지난번 촬영 때도 비가 오더니 오늘도 비가 오네요, 여러분. 자, 그럼 여러분 오늘 저희가 다리가 되어서 한국과 연결해 볼 나라는 어디일까요? 어디일까요? 힌트를 드릴게요. 첫 글자, 과. 과로 시작한 나라는 어디 있어요?
가볼까요?
저희가 오늘 다리가 되어 한국과 연결해 볼 나라는 바로 과테말라입니다. 여러분 비가 많이 오니까 일단 저희 빨리 들어가 봐야 될 것 같아요. 빨리 들어가 보겠습니다. 갈게요. 도착했습니다. 대사관에. 배를 눌러볼게요. 손님이 나오십니다. Hello, Master.
How are you?
Nice to see you again.
Thank you. Please.
How have you been?
Come inside. I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Let's take a moment and find out about Guatemala here. Guatemala borders the Pacific Ocean to the west and the Caribbean Sea to the east, and 2/3 of the country is mountainous. The country's name comes from its geography, meaning forested place in the Mayan language. Meanwhile, Korea and Guatemala established diplomatic relations in 1962, and the South Korean embassy in Guatemala was established in 1974, and the Guatemalan embassy in South Korea was established in 1977. Since the establishment of diplomatic ties, the two countries have been promoting cooperative relations in various fields, including politics, economy, society, and culture.
I really like your clothes.
Thank you very much.
Oh, is it like traditional Guatemalan
Yes,
clothes?
this is huipil. We call it huipil. It's from my country, of course, and this is from Alta Verapaz.
So you're wearing this for a special occasion for us.
Yes, yes, sure, sure. Thank you. Please, please come in.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Ambassador, the Maya civilization is widely known in Korea. However, only the name is widely known. And not many know deeply about the culture. So can you briefly tell us about the Maya civilization for Korean public?
When we talk about the Maya civilization, we are referring to the history of one of the most important pre-Columbian Mesoamerican cultures due to its rich scientific and astronomical legacy, which is known worldwide and it's highly appreciated in many parts of the world. It's not a culture, it's a civilization. You know, sometimes people refer to the Mayas as the Maya culture. Of course, it's a culture, but it was not only a culture, it was a civilization, and there is a great difference between culture and civilization.
Let's take a moment and look into the difference between culture and civilization.
The culture is one part of a civilization, and the Maya was a great civilization and one of the first civilizations in the world.
So, among the many civilizations, why do you think the Maya civilization became well known around the world?
It became very known because of the achievements of the civilization. The Mayas were great architects, great mathematicians, but above all, they were great astronomers. They created a calendar that it's scientifically proved that is more accurate than calendar that we use nowadays, which is the Gregorian calendar. They also made great achievement in the mathematical area. They were the first to begin to use the zero. And they are considered by specialists who have studied the civilization as mathematical genius. For the study of the Maya civilization, other specialists have have made the studies. Among them, we find the disciplines, scientific disciplines. We find anthropology, astronomy, history. We find epigraphy, ethnology. This is one of the reasons why this civilization became very well known in the world. To study the civilization, there are some periods. It's divided in 3 periods. It's a history of more than 3,000 or 4,000 years.
That is amazing.
Yes, yes, it is. And we are very proud of this civilization whose heart is in Guatemala, specifically in the northern part of Guatemala, in the area of province. We call them departamentos, in the departamento of El Petén. You know, Guatemala, it's based on archaeological sites, and we find thousands, hundreds of archaeological sites in Guatemala. Specifically from the classical period, we have Tikal National Park, which is very well known in the world.
The golden age of the Mayan civilization was the Classic period, which ranged from 250 to 900 AD. At the time, the center of the Mayan civilization was in the Petén region of Guatemala. In that region, the rainforest area of Tikal was one of the most powerful cities of classical Maya. At its peak from 700 to 800 AD, 90,000 Mayans lived in this city. Over 3,000 buildings, including stone structures called acropolis, as well as pyramids, temples, residential buildings, and tombs, are scattered across the area, with excavations still ongoing in large parts of it. Tikal National Park, which is of archaeological as well as biological and ecological interest, became a national monument in 1931, a national park in 1955, and was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1979. Quirigua is the place to find the best evidence of the Mayan civilization, along with the metropolitan ruins in Petén, Honduras. Among the ruins of Quirigua are outstanding 8th century monuments, an inscribed stone stele, which is a valuable source for research on the Mayan civilization, and a calendar with engravings on it. Some of the engravings have been deciphered, and their meanings have become valuable and unique resources for research into Maya's social, political, and economic history. Along with Tikal National Park, the Archaeological Park, and the ruins of Quirigua were also recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1981.
So the Maya civilization left behind a lot of legacies. So what do you think is particularly noteworthy?
I would pick two things. The first one is that at that ancient time they practiced science. They created not only one calendar, they created several calendars, and this is pure astronomy. And all of their knowledges regarding astronomy, or the majority, it's based in the codex. We have 4 Mayan codex, and the codex have the name of the city in which they are. And regarding the astronomy, we have the Dresden Codex, which is now in Germany, and which is basically an astronomy treaty, because in this codex you find all the calendars of the Maya civilization. And the other thing that for me it's something very, very important is the respect of Mother Nature. This is a legacy we still have from them, especially now that, we have not taken good care of the environment. And these kind of practices the Mayas were making thousands of years ago.
So how did they respect environment? Like, could you give me some examples of that?
For them, it had to be harmony with Mother Nature. They treat everything with good care.
So they knew the importance of nature.
Yes.
I heard you held several lectures, and one of them I met you at Hankuk University of Foreign Studies. So did you have any special reason to give lectures to Korean students about Maya civilization?
Yes. The first one is that I like very much the issue, and I am very proud to teach the history of the Maya civilization. But the second one is that You know, this year we are celebrating the 60th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between Guatemala and Korea. So we plan a cultural program for the whole year. My intention is to go to every province in Korea to give this lecture in order that people know a little bit more from the Maya civilization. By now I have just given 3, but I have more invitations in Busan and other provinces.
오늘 강의는 어땠어요?
사실 제가 마야 문명에 대해서 아예 몰랐는데 좀 알게 돼서 너무 좋았고 스페인어, 중남미 문화까지 알 수 있게 되어서 너무 좋았던 기회였습니다.
어떤 점이 제일 기억에 남아요? 얘기하셨던 것 중에?
다양한 문화가 있고 그 중에서 저희가 마야 문화에 대해서 더 많이 알아야 된다? 네, 이렇게 말씀하셨던 게 제일 기억에 남아요.
네, 그래서 마야 문명에 대해서 원래는 한국인 교수님들과 자료 조사나 아니면 수업을 통해서 좀 들었는데 지금 과테말라의 대사님께서 더 자세한 그런 소통의 장을 마련해 주셔서 관심을 갖고 참여하게 됐습니다.
오늘 그 강연 중에 어떤 점이 가장 인상적이었어요?
마야 문명에 있었던 그 사람들은 몇천 년 전인데도 불구하고 대륙 간에 이동을 하면서 왕래가 그때부터 활발했다는 그런 말씀을 들어서 저 스스로 또 많은 자극을 받게 되었고
I understand that Mayan languages are recognized as national official languages in Guatemala. Is that right?
Correct, that is correct.
So how are Mayan languages in use in Guatemala?
After the peace agreement in 1996, the Maya languages, which are 22, were declared languages. So by the Constitution, they are, after Spanish, you know, they are considered languages, not dialects. And there are 22. The most widely spoken language is Maya Quiché.
Guatemala was the center of the Mayan civilization, and there are still many Mayans living there, maintaining their practices and culture. Looking at Guatemala's ethnic groups, mestizos account for the largest portion at 56%, followed by Mayans at 41.7%. The proportion of Afro-Guatemalans and of non-Mayan indigenous people is very small. Guatemala's official language is Spanish. However, additionally, 22 Mayan languages and 2 non-Mayan languages, Xinca and Garifuna, are also recorded as national languages. The Mayan language with the most users is Quiché, spoken by around 1 million people. These languages are stipulated by related laws on national language and are used in public activities, education, healthcare, and law enforcement.
So what kind of influence does the Maya civilization have for modern-day Guatemala?
The identity of Guatemala is Mayan. In every part of the country you will find traces of the Mayas. It's a living culture, it's not history. You know, people in Guatemala, more than 50% of the inhabitants are Mayas. So when you go to the country, you can hear them talking their languages, practicing their beliefs. You know, we have 2 persons who are Nobel laureates. In the banknotes, for example, the coins and the banknotes, you find the Mayan numerals.
Oh,
in
really?
all the coins and banknotes. So in every aspect of our identity, you find in the clothes. You see, in these 22 groups, they have 22 different clothing. So to summarize it, in every aspect of our life, you find traces of the Maya society in architecture, in literature, in the clothing, in the food, everywhere.
So, is there a part of Mayan culture you'd like to introduce to Korea?
Yes, since we are talking about the Maya civilization, Guatemala made a couple of years ago the nominalization of a very important archaeological site, which is Takalik Abaj. This is a site from the pre-classic period, and I am sure this archaeological site will be declared World Heritage also by UNESCO because of its historical importance. You go there and you see many traces of the Maya civilization also. This is the one I would like to introduce to the Korean community.
Takalik Abaj.
Takalik Abaj.
Takalik Abaj.
Yeah, it's very, very important.
Talking about the Maya civilization with the ambassador today, I found out that Guatemalans, including the ambassador, have a tremendous amount of pride in the Mayan civilization. After learning so much about the Mayan civilization, one of Guatemalan's most proud histories, it made me feel much closer to Guatemala. Using today's episode as a bridge, I hope people will learn many new facts about Guatemala.
저희 캐치프레이즈는 뭘까요? 저희의 캐치프레이즈는 따로 공개하겠습니다.
Thank you very much.
Would you like to open it? It's your name in Korean.
Oh,
So I'm not sure.